KEYC News Now to Go is sponsored by River's Edge Hospital and Clinic. People caring for people.
Moments like these make life worth living. River's Edge Hospital and Clinic is your partner in taking control of your own health. Take your steps towards a lasting tomorrow. River's Edge Hospital.
Hello and good morning, and thanks for joining us for this KEYC News Now to Go update. I'm Jirik. In a few minutes, I'll be joined by First Alert meteorologist Caitlyn Lorr with a look at today's much better forecast and the week ahead. We start with local news. The Blue Earth County Sheriff's Office says the murder that occurred in the city of Mapleton involved a father and a son. The Sheriff's Office says a 71-year-old Blaine Lars Almhead was found dead in the apartment he shared with his 47-year-old son, Troy Blaine Almhead. Authorities went to the residence after someone reported a car abandoned off the road just south of Terrace View Golf Course on Highway 22 outside Mankato. Witnesses saw someone walking north from the scene, but police didn't find them. They traced ownership of the car to the father.
When they got down there, unfortunately, there were some lights on, and they tried to make contact. Weren't able to make contact, tried checking the welfare, and found the register of the vehicle deceased inside the residence. There was obvious trauma, which of course, created additional concern and necessary resources to come in.
Troy Almhead eventually turned himself into authorities. He remains in custody pending a referral to the Blue Earth County Attorney's Office to consider charges, including second-degree murder. Police believe he's the only one involved in the case. Continuing with state news, the man who murdered Madeline Kingsbury has voluntarily terminated his parental rights. Adam Fravel and Kingsbury shared two young children. Fravel murdered Kingsbury in March of 2023 and hid her body in a rural culvert north of Mabel. He was convicted of her murder last November. The children are now under the legal custody and guardianship of Kingsbury's father and stepmom. Court documents say they plan on adopting the two kids. Fravel is serving life in prison and appealing his conviction. That is being handled in federal court. Well, if you have plans to be out on the water this summer, come next month, you may want to check on if you need a valid watercraft operator's permit. It's a new law that the state passed to educate and ensure the safety on the water. The new law requires some adults to take an exam to receive a valid operator's permit. If you don't have a permit, there needs to be another person with a valid operating permit on board. 12 years old and younger can operate a personal watercraft or any motorboat with a 75 horsepower boating law administrator captain. Adam Block says not only does this new law educate the people of the dangers on the watercrafts, but also the environmental impacts.
We want to get the public into compliance, because if they're in compliance, that means they've taken the time to get educated, which is ultimately what we want, because now they're going to understand the rules of the water. We don't have stripes out there on the water like we do on the traffic, or we don't have stoplights and stop signs. So there's other ways that we have to help people navigate safely on our waters.
Online exams can be found online for a cost. The DNR also has free study packets. Operating a boat without a valid permit can earn you a citation. Switching gears and joining me at the desk is Caitlyn Lorr. Caitlyn, the rain has come and gone. It was a welcome sight, and with it going away, I know you're going to update all of us on it, but it was that hazy smoke, that wildfire that when you stepped outside of the door, it was like, who's having a bonfire at 8 in the morning or noon or whenever you may have stepped outside?
Yeah, and I actually want to say our director yesterday was like, I woke up this morning and he comes in at 4:30 and he goes, wow, I didn't know my neighbors were up all night having a bonfire. And then he goes, wait a minute, it was storming all night. And then it clicked that it was the wildfire smoke. Yep. And it's always so crazy to me that when it gets so thick that you can smell it. You know, the fires are far away, but it just goes to show that weather and the air has no boundaries when it comes to things like that. Now, the good news for us is the air quality alert for most of Minnesota has been lifted. You can see that Iowa, Wisconsin, and a portion of southeastern Minnesota near Rochester and around Rochester still remaining under that air quality alert. Now, the southeastern Minnesota portion, the Rochester area, will continue to be under that air quality alert until 12 o'clock this afternoon. Now, I know most of our area is A-OK, but some of us do travel out to Rochester for things like work or other things. So those of you that pertains to, just know that you are going to be going from better air quality back to that worsening air quality. And here's just to show you what that air quality forecast is going to look like today. Again, where we're still seeing that lingering air quality alert through at least 12 o'clock this afternoon. We're in that orange zone, which is considered unhealthy for some. That affects, certain groups of people. Down here in south central Minnesota and the Twin Cities, we're looking at that yellow stage, which is moderate. That really only affects those that are extra sensitive to things like wildfire smoke. Outside of that yellow and orange area, majority of the state sitting under green, which is good, showing those improvements that we've been so longing to see, which also means that we can get outside today and enjoy the beautiful afternoon we have ahead of us. So let's talk about it. We've got a lot of sunshine out there. You may notice those milky skies still. Keep in mind that the air quality down here is improving, but we may still continue to see a little bit of lingering smoke above our heads. And that's kind of why some of the area is sitting under that yellow or moderate zone. So you might still notice a milky tint in the sky, but other than that, we're going to be good to go outside today. Chance for some clouds and a couple sprinkled chances in southwestern Minnesota between 5 and 8 o'clock this afternoon. But again, it's just going to be more like a handful of raindrops and then clear out of the area, leaving us with a small blanket of clouds for a few hours that will clear up, making way for clear skies for most of the night. We're going to wake up to partly cloudy skies tomorrow and eventually becoming mostly cloudy. Couple isolated shower chances may be possible early tomorrow, but then we're looking at scattered rain chances returning tomorrow evening. 75 for the high today. Few sprinkles as we talked about. It's more so handful of raindrops out to the southwest and kind of be done with that and move on, so you don't have to worry about any outdoor plans today. Tonight, partly cloudy but comfortable out there with a low of 56 degrees by tomorrow morning. As I mentioned, as the day goes on, for tomorrow, yes, temperatures are going to be fantastic in the upper 70s, but keep your eyes on the skies. We're watching for some showers, possible thunderstorms. However, the good news is, as of right now, we are not concerned about strong or severe storms in the area. Here's a look at your extended forecast showing that chance of showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. Isolated chances throughout Friday as clouds linger in the area. We'll see some clouds throughout Saturday as temperatures hover in the mid-70s through the weekend. Next week is looking to be a little bit on the quieter side and warmer side as those temperatures rise into the low 80s.
Well, it looks like if we just get through Thursday and Friday, the sunshine will come in and we'll have a pleasant weekend and a gorgeous week.
Yeah, it's going to be great for hitting out the lakes and area pools.
Lakes and getting them suntans on. That's what you got to do.
With sunscreen.
With sunscreen, if you want. There
well, this will be a never-ending battle.
It will never end, I tell you that much. Well, thank you very much, Caitlin. We got some sports to talk about real quick. The weather did decide to intervene with this year's state softball tournament, the MSHSL, making the decision to postpone games one day from yesterday to today. So quarterfinals are underway as we are speaking this morning. Here is the updated schedule for games. Class 4A started at 8:30 this morning with some 3A quarterfinal games following at 11 a.m. Mankato East will take the field at that time against Simley. The Cougars are the top-seeded team in Class 3A and the two-time defending state champions. And if East is able to defeat Simley, they'll face the winner of Rocori Becker. The matchup later at 6:30. In Class 2A, the Lake Crystal Welcome Memorial Knights hit the field at 11 in the morning against Hawley. Jackson County Central will also play at 11. Class 2A semifinals are set for 6:30 in the evening. After that, in Class A, United South Central should get going around 1:30 in the afternoon with their quarterfinals. Semifinals for Class A won't begin until roughly around 9 in the evening. Well, Bass was on that same schedule as well for their quarterfinal game. Be sure to tune in to KEYC News Now tonight. We'll have a look at some of those highlights from this year's state tournament action. Section baseball was also impacted yesterday. In Section 2-3A, Mankato West is set to square off against Mankato East. The winner heads to the Section 2-3A title game, while the loser heads to the elimination bracket. These two teams have already played twice so far this season. East won both of the crosstown matchups. The Section 2-3A tournament game between the Scarlets and Cougars will be played with first pitch at 3 in the afternoon at Johnson Park in New Ulm. Section 2 Single A baseball already has New Ulm Cathedral in the section championship game on Thursday, but elimination game scheduled for tonight. Mankato Loyola is set to take on Springfield tonight at 5 from ISG Field. The winner will take on Sleepy Eye in another elimination game at 7:30. Winner of that game will face Cathedral in a must-win game to make it to state. Lots of information there, so be sure to tune in tonight for all of those highlights and throughout the week as state softball will wrap up this weekend, and then section baseball will wrap up and head into state. So a lot going on, Caitlin, but
I don't know how you remembered all that.
good news. Good news is it looks like we're going to be able to scatter some games in between those scattered thunderstorms, and then for baseball, it will be gorgeous. So thank you very much, Caitlin. And, of course, thanks for watching this KEYC News Now to go update. Stay with KEYC News Now for the latest local news, weather, and sports on our website.
Enjoy the clearing conditions and download the free KEYC News and Weather apps for the latest headlines and forecast.